Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Rogue Entertainment. Tonight's episode may have triggering language or subject matter. I understand this is a narcissistic abuse recovery channel. So if there's anyone out there who is still healing from narcissistic abuse, if you're easily triggered, this program may not be for you. And for everyone else, I'll give you a moment. And this is also not intended for anyone under the age of 18. I'll give you a moment to turn the stream off. And thank you guys very much, anyone that's here. I will assume that you have a ardent heart. We're going to be going full political tonight. No, it's not normally something that we do, but I feel that it's a subject matter we need to get into. And let's kick it off, brothers and sisters. There be rogues here.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. And these Shields boys give them nothing, but take from them everything.
You see, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.
What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us. America is a land of heroes. This is a place where greatness is born. Our ancestors settled the Wild West, lifted millions from poverty, disease, and hunger, vanquished tyranny and fascism, ushered the world to new heights of science and medicine, and we are making it greater than ever before. The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again. No matter the trials, no matter the challenges to come, we must keep freedom alive in our souls. That one nation, under God, must be the hope and the promise and the light and the glory among all the nations of the world. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Tells me he can get me out of this mess, but he's pretty sure you're fucked.
And as always, before we begin, Immortal Coil, please.
What is happening, my savage friends? You are listening to the throat of Immortal Coil. You're about to hear some savage truth, but before we can do that, we have to let you know this channel contains strong language, sensitive subject matter, images, and content, and for a mature 18 years or older audience, viewer discretion is advised. This video contains copywritten content. However, under the Fair Use Act, Section 504C2, Title 17 of the United States Code, this content is presented for the purposes of education and entertainment through the use of parody, satire, critique, analysis, and/or social commentary by means of subjective opinion. We got a great show tonight. Just put the kids to bed. Adults are about to speak. Go on.
Thank you very much. Without further ado, I want to introduce the panel that is here. Right now, we have the one, the only Ryan Roger Athey. What is up, my brother?
Well, excuse me. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and it's great to see you all watching today. It's great to see Stephen Walton in the flesh live from his studio, and it's great to see Immortal Coil live from his tent as he roams the cities of Americana trying to find a house. So it's
where I lay my head is home, man. Our foreign correspondent. Go on.
It's all right. It's all right. I mean, the economy is so bad right now, even American patriots can't find a home. And they're killing squirrels, too. It's crazy. But it's great to be here, folks. And hopefully we'll have a great talk about many topics of the day, including the fact that Camel Toe ordered the execution of a MAGA squirrel.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. Before we go any further, guys, those are the Dragonstorm audience. Allow me to introduce one of the old rogues coming out, hanging out with us tonight. Slender Dad, one half the Ascended Art podcast. What's going on, brother?
I mean, you hit me up and you said, "Hey, can you do this thing?" And I said, "Sure, I can do this thing." And then you started talking about the squirrels, and I looked out the window, and my squirrel army is still doing pretty good out there. We probably got about 20 or 30 living on my property. I consider them my early warning system for any of the big snakes that might come through. Since I do live up in the in the forest, in the mountains, far away from as many people as I can get away from.
Dude, that is the life to live. That's where I want to be, in the mountains, the PA mountains. That's where I want to head to. Dude, it's good to see you, Slender. Man, what have you been up to, brother?
Well, we started a second channel, Ascendant Arcade. It's our gaming channel. We've got a lot of happy Halloween spooky content. Me and Mad and Brahma and Chad and all the others, we've been doing a lot of Phasmophobia. So, ghost hunting. Good times. And usually new content most weekdays on that channel. So Ascendant Arcade if you're into the gaming stuff.
That is incredible. The rogue mod out there, Gap, if you could find that channel and put it in the chat, that'd be great. Thank you, brother. We will be joined later on by Sporky News Podcast, Supreme Heretic, and Etepicuian. Etep's out trick-or-treating. Sporky's the dad. And Drew, Drew's got an announcement to make when he gets here. So we're looking forward to that. Before we get started, where I don't want to talk about the squirrel yet because Stark wanted to be here for that.
Oh.
Is Ryan, would you go into the Twitter chat and ask Stark when he's going to show up so that we can wait on that one? There have been over the last couple of days, there has been some shenanigans being pointed out by some people online, and I wanted to just get everyone's thoughts on. I want to get everyone's thoughts on this. In this video, And so, in this video, we are seeing a person who is trying to vote for Donald J. Trump. He hits it multiple times. And then, boom, it goes on Kamala Harris.
50 votes for McCain. Remember that Simpsons skit with the election? It's that, but without, chopping up Homer.
Slender Dad, what was the name of that channel again? Gap's looking for it.
Ascendant Arcade. I can throw it in the chat. Here we go.
Okay.
First of all, why are people voting electronically? In the United Kingdom, which is far more left-wing, even on our right-wing side than the United States, we vote on paper ballots. They added new rules. So you have to have an ID to vote now. Before all you needed was a poll card, because that was seen as a form of ID. But now you need actual ID to vote, which I think is pretty good. And you vote on a paper ballot. They do give you a pencil. That's why everyone brings pens, Stephen, because with a pencil, it can be rubbed out and then changed. So we use a pen, and you can tell if they use Tipp-Ex to remove it, because then that'll be a faulty ballot. So always bring a pen with you to vote in the UK. But we do not vote electronically because we know it can be hacked into and it can be rigged.
Slender, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's any legitimacy to it? Is there a problem with the electronic voting system?
I think there's come on now. I was an electronics technician who specialized in touch entry displays for 10 years in the Navy. After that, I got into cybersecurity and intelligence. So Now, looking at what's happening on this screen, out-of-date software, that could cause that issue. There are a lot of explainable technical reasons that could be happening. However, that should invalidate every vote cast until those issues are fixed. Like, hands down. I personally feel we should do paper ballots. When you've got countries that can do entire elections with nothing but paper ballots in the millions or hundreds of millions and still have their results by the next day, it doesn't seem like all these fancy electronics are speeding up the effing process.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, India, world's biggest democracy, hundreds of millions of people vote. I mean, maximum, it takes 36 hours for it all to be counted. And we are talking about hundreds of millions of people in a country that is like a subcontinent, folks. It's that big of a country. It's still in the development phase. But if they can do it, if the Argentinians can do their election in a 24-hour period, the United Kingdom can do their elections over a 24-hour period. I mean, each of these two countries, UK as a kingdom, Argentina as a country, would be, about 3 or 4 states in terms of, population. It doesn't take 10 days to verify a damn election like you saw in Arizona.
It's just more time to cheat.
Exactly.
Hey, that's the way that I look at it. I mean, I want to circle back to that, but first I think everybody has dealt with having to recalibrate a touchscreen. I think pretty much, at least for those of us that work in the tech industry, it's, that's a thing that does happen. But as far as what can compromise an electronic voting system, Slender, can you give us some ideas of what that could be, what that would look like?
Oh, I think they did this at DEF CON like 4 or 8 years ago. Like, those voting machines are very easily hacked. You can compromise them in a number of different ways.
Well, I do find it interesting. Next to Jill Stein, it says Kentucky Party, when I know Jill Stein is one of those Green Party, crazy eco terrorists, practically. So for it to say Kentucky Party, I do find it a bit suspicious there. But you never know in this day and age.
You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. I mean,
she's crazy. She's a crazy environmentalist. Of course, RFK is on the ballot, despite the fact he endorses the Supreme President, as I like to call him. And it just goes to show, don't vote through an electronic machine, folks. Get a pen, get a paper ballot, and vote on everything that's on that ballot across the board. Don't just the craziest thing I've seen, Walton, is that sometimes people would vote for, say, a Democrat presidential nominee and a Republican governor. I've always found that bloody crazy. Pick one across the board. Be consistent.
Well, I think that there's something to be said for voting for someone that you like, someone that aligns with your values. And I think, me, I'm a believer in the uniparty system.
Yeah, I don't think that's wise either. Yeah. I think, listen, I'm registered as an independent, and as an independent, I get to look at every candidate for what they stand for, what their morals are, how they'll represent me. If you just go down one page and say blue, 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 or red, 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 you're fucked.
I mean,
I can understand that perspective. What was that? Was Slender Dad speaking?
I was saying I have problems with both, technically speaking. I mean, there are instances in both, the red party and the blue party where I don't give a shit what the party tells you to vote. Like, you are there to represent my will. So if you go against the people who put you in office because the party told you to, fuck you, you're done. I'm never voting for you again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's just from my perspective, based in the United Kingdom, most of our general elections is only one thing, one choice on the ballot. I mean, we don't have this system that you guys have where you're not just voting for a presidential candidate. You could be voting for a congressman. You could be voting for a senator. Could be voting for a governor as well, all on the same damn ballot in regards to that. So from my perspective, I just find it a bit odd that for some voters out there in the U.S. who may vote red in say the president, but blue for the governor, and maybe an independent for a congressman, it just doesn't make any sense to me from an outsider looking in.
Oh, I understand that. Well, traditionally, I think it was more so, you look at the old Liberal Party, the old Democrats, whom I used to support. That was more for social issues, and I think local government that's where I would vote. But when it comes to the federal laws, I trust more in fiscal conservatism, and so I would probably lean red in that direction. And also because they believe in smaller government.
I do have an example of this, and I know Tony's about to come on, but I do have an example of this. Vermont has technically an independent senator in Bernie Sanders, but they have a red, Republican governor. And to me, I can't get my head around that. How can you have blue winning the Senate, but red winning the gubernatorial position? To me, that just seems like a polar opposite. If you're going to vote Democrat, vote Democrat. If you're going to vote Republican, vote Republican. And if you're going to vote independent, no matter who that independent is, whether it's libertarian, green, constitutionalist, vote for them across the board.
Do you not understand? Have you never been to a fast food place in America? If you've never been there, okay, even Arby's sells burgers now. All right, we like variety and options. Okay. All right, I go to a chicken place to get a burger. All right, I don't know. It seems like in the UK you just vote unilaterally, and that's pretty much.
Yeah, Ryan, we don't drink tea. We don't have tea time. We drink whatever we want whenever we want.
That's right.
I just find it weird that, say, in North Carolina, you're going to vote for Donald Trump, and then for a governor, you're going to vote for a demon rat instead of that black guy who got accused of being a Nazi. Hello, Sporking. How you doing?
Hello, RRA reality based.
Yeah, I had to reduce that because I didn't want truckers coming after me. But it's good to see you, and it's good to see Tony as well. Yes,
Limey.
Yeah. Tony, how long do you have? Because we're gonna get into Peanut. We will get into.
I have the article queued up.
You have it queued up. Okay, so we'll get into that shortly. But first, I wanted to ask Sporking News Confused cast. What do you think of the electronic voting system?
Thank you, Pegger. I think pegging men. Yes.
No, pegging man.
Pegger, noun, usually involved in individuals that label themselves a pagan man.
Pegging man. Pegging man. I don't know what it is. I'm confused. What was I asking again? What?
Electronic voting system. We were just watching a video where a person in Kentucky allegedly who was trying to vote for. Really? So, what are your thoughts on that?
They can easily be broken into. They could easily be manipulated. If you hypothetically hand out the password to multiple people after everyone's done, you can go in and change the votes. Look at a Steven Crowder video recently. I mean, it's really the closest thing to mail-in ballots bullshit shenanigans is electronic voting. It should just be paper ballot, or like those old thick ones. Stickers.
No, I agree with that as well. With us is Supreme Heretic. What's going on, brother? From United Resistance. Good to see you, sir.
It's been a while, sir.
What up? What up?
What's up, man? What are your thoughts on the electronic voting system?
Well, it's just what Scott said. It's already being abused. Already knew what was going to happen. And this time with the cheating, it's not so much that they're trying to steal it. They're just trying to throw a wrench in the whole works. It's not about stealing it now, because I would say probably 3 out of every 5 people at least are going to be voting for Trump this time around. It's looking by the numbers like a landslide, and they're just not going to let the process play out. They're still going to try to stop it at any cost. And they're doing it already with, as Scott said, the passwords that got out in Colorado, the machines that won't allow you to select a Trump vote. They only default to Harris. It's a complete shit show in the system. And they're not going to stop with the electronic machines because it allows them that backdoor to manipulate the outcome. And
who also has money in Dominion? I forget whose husband. Wasn't it Pelosi's husband or Pelosi? Somebody had a
The
big chunk.
Could it be maybe Satan?
Yeah,
yeah.
The changelings are the Dominions
Now-
talking.
As a Kentucky boy, I this hits close to home. When I went to vote, I didn't encounter this glitch, but I know I've talked to some people that have, and it's fucked up. It's like seriously fucked up.
Breaking news: Kamala Harris has won the state of Kentucky.
My Lord in heaven. We're all
Now you know it's rigged.
It's doomed. Fucking doomed.
So, now, Slender Dad's worked on this type of technology, so I know I have to ask this question again. I'm sorry, brother, but aside from a touchscreen calibration error, is there something that could be done that would cause this for one selection to be flipped to another?
Yeah, if they've got the screen resolution set incorrectly, it'll do exactly that, where you push one spot on the touchscreen and it actually registers the push somewhere else on the screen.
Yeah,
Right.
Got to nudge down and a little to the left.
Right, because you can't hit the top upper left corner. If you touch it somewhere else, then the thing will register, but you can't hit it where you think you would have to hit the selection to
Show me where you touched it on this doll. Show me.
right. It's just, I mean, it's
right in my squirrel.
It's not. This is not a surprise, and the bigger thing that I'm worried about is as we get closer, what major catastrophe is going to happen? Because the false flags are coming. I talked about this on the stream I just did. The false flags are all coming. It's just a matter of how grand the disaster will be. Are we going to look at another building collapsing, something being blown up? What's going to happen? A stadium full of people killed? Who knows?
It'll also be something minor. We're going to get into the whole peanut controversy.
Yeah, like the execution of a raccoon and a squirrel.
To keep people distracted. Yeah, we're going to get into that momentarily because I know where Drew's going with that, and I think he's on point. There's a lot of distractions.
I would say it involves moose and squirrel.
Reference.
I'd also like
Who was impersonating Boris and Natasha? I want word with him.
That would have been supreme heretic.
He's very good impersonation, Ruski. You built the fearless leader quite well. Duh.
So I want to show you guys this little clip. This came out of Pennsylvania, the state that I'm in right now, where there has been a lot of things happening as far as the election. So let's take a look at this, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it. Here we go.
Hello, how are you? I'm not allowed to look at that unless it says so. Oh, I gotta check.
You're not allowed to look at an identification. Not allowed to look at a voter ID or a state ID.
Oh no, I'm suddenly blind. Go and vote. Go and vote.
Right.
That's just crazy. It's absolutely insane.
So they'll ask for IDs in a blue state to cover up the fact that the people that are dead in their graves can't show theirs in red states. Wonderful. Fucking wonderful.
Yeah, I'm confused
gonna
by this.
say-
Like, how do they prove where you like? Is she looking to like your address, even though you don't show your ID? You just like I'm
just a signature.
Hector Vendozo, and I live at 222 Main Street.
I
it's just a
don't want to
signature, that's
live
it.
on this
It's really
planet
weird
anymore.
to me because when I got out of the Navy, I went to go vote in Virginia for the first time, and like I was not allowed to vote because I didn't have a voter registration. Right? I thought, oh well, I mean I've lived here forever. I thought I just went to vote, and they're like, no, you got to do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to do this, and you got to do this. So I missed that cycle.
I mean, to me personally, because I'm the outsider of the group. I'm part of the land that you guys all rebelled against. But from a British perspective, we vote on the day, and the idea of postal voting was very much a niche for like old people to vote who couldn't get to the voting booths because they're old and crippled and all that sort of stuff. But the idea of early voting is just alien to us in the UK. You vote on
It's alien
the day.
to us too. It's this new thing that's very weird.
Very new.
It's you vote on the day, and within 24 hours you get the result, which is what we had in on the 4th of July 2024, which is kind of ironic considering the
You're welcome.
the day.
Yeah. No, it's weird. It used to be okay. So mail-in voting was only for really guys serving in the military that couldn't be there to do it in person. If you could prove you were in college,
absentee ballots.
Yeah,
We
absentee
would
ballots.
Request an absentee ballot.
yes,
That's not the same.
Not the same. You're right. Absentee ballot was guys in the military or people in college that couldn't make it home. But this mail-in thing happened in 2020, and it should not have happened in this election. And this early voting was supposed to make it easier for people. Yet there's places where they're stopping the line at 2 p.m. It's like, wait, what? Like they're forcing people to go home. Nope, sorry, you can't vote. No one after this point. Like it looks like to me a very crooked attempt at an election that looks like it's going to be a blowout, and for them to try to fudge this one, they will have to do it would be massively obvious, and that's like, why even try? Just let the goddamn thing happen.
They're alienating all of the night shifters by default with this.
Yeah.
And most of people that have our, political philosophies are night shifters. We get shafted. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's writings on the fucking wall, man.
Yeah. Gap After Dark said it. It was in Pennsylvania. Yeah. They were stopping people after 1:45 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But the Trump campaign went to court. Something in Arizona too. The 150,000 people, non-citizens that voted, and it was caught. And the judge is asking for some type of paperwork. I'll have to find it. And one of the state representatives will not send it to the judge, even though it's like a court order. Like it just all the stupid shit that they're trying to do in different states. I mean, Arizona is one of the most messed up. Pennsylvania's been messed up. I live in a blue state, but it seems like it's pretty smooth right now. But I don't know, man. I've just seen a lot of people that were Bernie bros, that were libertarians, that were even voted Biden last time, that are just like, no, man, all the shit that's happened the last 4 years, I can't give them my vote. You took a elected president running for office after a debate and had a coup, put in the woman that is his vice president that weeks before everyone said he should drop from the ballot and pick somebody else up. And because the money situation was, if they got rid of him, it had to be her because it was their campaign money. And that is the only reason 2 days later, every single news organization was telling us how amazing she was and yet I still have not heard one of her policies. I have just
lowest
heard her
approval
backtrack
rating in the
everything.
history of vice presidents. She is
Yep.
she is awful.
Yep, worse
Sporking.
than Dan Quayle. Yeah,
Sporking.
Right. A
Look
lot
at
of-
what can be, unburdened by what has been. That's her policy.
yes, that's it. Commie policy.
A lot
I
of
just
Dem-
don't get how
yeah.
somebody could skip the entire process by default like that and be considered a valid candidate. Let's just start
Right.
with that.
Right.
Well, a lot of Democrats were pissed off because she. Nobody asked anybody about her. They just installed her. Oh, this is our candidate. It's like, who asked for that?
Well, one of Trump's
feels kind of like an insurrection, doesn't it?
But one of
It does,
Trump's
I
Unity Coalition team members literally torpedoed Camel Toe's 2020 campaign, and that was Tulsi Gabbard. And I think with the introduction of Camel Toe as a presidential candidate, it allowed this Unity Coalition that we are seeing from the MAGA movement to spring out. This coalition of libertarians, more conservative-minded people, and more nationalistic-minded people to come together, to hang together, to ensure that America is number one, that Americans are number one, and that the best pieces of all these different ideologies can come together. So, of course, you're going to see all sorts of shenanigans, but you're not going to see it in safer areas, especially in places like California, especially in places like Illinois, because they are shoo-ins for the opposition.
Well, this is again goes to the larger picture of what we've talked about for a long time with our buddy good old Klaus Schwab in the penetrate the cabinets. That's exactly what they've done.
Literally a Bond villain, just crafted.
In all the major,
I was thinking the same thing, Blofeld.
in all the major countries of the world, the WEF has their preferred candidate. It goes back to old money, to making money, and it goes back to the Great Reset, which is what they obviously want to implement for everyone. And, they know that Harris is a stool pigeon. I mean, come on. She's really and truly, from an objective political standpoint, she's unelectable. Anybody with discernment can sit in a room with that woman 5 minutes and say, God, she's more fake than a rubber turd. All right.
Peanut could run the country more effectively than Camel Toe.
Well,
read how
he
fake
can't
she
now. But yeah.
Stark, if you want to cue that up, we're going to talk about that next.
Okay,
we're going to bring that
I'll
into the
go ahead and
conversation.
share it.
Thank you. All right. And
Yeah,
before that,
my
just
time
wanted to get
is severely limited. Sorry.
I got you, buddy. We're going to get that in a moment. I just wanted to what Scott was saying earlier about people not able to vote because of time constraints or just changes mid voting.
Hi, it's Heather with Early Vote Action. We are here at Quakertown, and I have a voter who unfortunately cannot stay. You want to tell me what happened?
Well, we've been here since 3:15 at Quakertown, so we were told to fill out these papers. But now the process, we're getting up to the door, and the process is they just changed it where people are waiting an hour to get this back. And it's my daughter's birthday. She has dinner reservations in New Jersey, so we're not able to stay in line. Because if it's another hour, once we fill this out and give the ballot, then we have to stay and we can't vote on Tuesday. And there's people still waiting on the other side that were here way before we were, because they're neighbors of ours, we know them. So
how long have you been here?
We've been here since 3:15, and it's 6 now, so 3 hours, just about 3 hours.
That is insane. In the UK, last time when I voted back in July, it took me about 3 minutes to vote. Of course, there was only one thing on the ballot, choose your party, practically. But for it to take 3 hours and still not be able to vote, it's criminal, folks.
Well,
criminal.
Yes.
I mean, they're using
Absolutely.
the sheriff's offices in Pennsylvania. Sheriffs who are elected, they're using sheriff officers to put signs at the end of the line, and it's 2:00 in the afternoon. No more voting.
The only example I can think of it taking that long to vote in an election was in South Africa when they had their first proper democratic elections, and there were lines that were miles long where it took hours for everyone to vote in certain places. That is the only example I can give you of voting taking that long for an election cycle. But for this to be going on in the United States 30 years later, it's criminal. It's got to be criminal.
They had people in Bucks County, PA, dressed as that looked like poll workers, but they were not. They were Democrat operatives trying to tell people to turn around and not vote.
That is insane.
That was on Jack Posovic's Twitter feed, about 4 or 5 days ago. It was just ridiculous.
We are going to circle back. We are going to. I'm sorry, Drew. 1 second. We're going to circle back to that, and you can continue that. But Tony only has so much time, and he wanted to cover this segment, and then we'll come right back to you, man, because that's a great topic. And Scott also has an article to share. Right now, Tony, go ahead, brother. You're on center stage.
Where to begin with this? I'm a cat dad. I have animals, and I love animals. All kinds of animals that, like, you can make fun of that all you want, Ryan. Go ahead. I know you're thinking it. But wow, I misjudged you. I figured you would have been all over. And now Tony confesses his bestiality.
You said it.
Oh my God.
Why not a bloody animal?
Stop loving the animals, Tony. Nobody. No, anyway, no, this hit me very close to home when I found out about this. I've actually saw, clips and bits of Peanut the squirrel with his owner and stuff, and throughout the last couple of years, and this blew my mind. So I'm just gonna narrate this. And I'll do it with my best Ryan Roger Athe impersonation so that all of you reality-based people can still feel engaged. He's going to kill me. No, I'm not going to. You need that many officers in bold print. On October 30th, DEC seized a raccoon and a squirrel, sharing a residence with humans, creating potential for human exposure to rabies. From what I've gathered, they've had these animals for like 7 years. If they would have ever gotten rabies, they would have known about it.
Yes.
In addition, a person involved with the investigation was bitten by said squirrel, probably because you were threatening it. To test for rabies, both animals were euthanized. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and Chemung County Department of Health said in a statement, the animals are being tested for rabies, and anyone who has been in contact with these animals is strongly encouraged to consult their physician. Really? They're going to cover it up with a rabies scare. Okay. I get it. Nobody likes getting jabbed in the tummy, but that hasn't been a cure for rabies for almost 20 years. You'll be fine. Longo said in the raid on his home to the farm known as Peanut's Freedom Farm took 5 hours. You need that many officers to show up to my house and literally pull my closets apart, Longo said. Look at that. That is a beautiful fucking animal. And and there's evidence going back on his social media of him just hanging out with that squirrel and entertaining so many people with that squirrel. It rubbed me the wrong way. Tens of thousands of signatures in an online petition demanded Peanut's return before Friday afternoon. But wild animals are considered property in New York, property of the New York, when you literally have tens of thousands of the owners signing, hey, return Peanut home. It just sounds like a workaround to me. Under state law, the only way to legally rescue squirrels is to become a licensed wildlife rehabilitator, a process that can take months, and legally keep a domesticated wild animal. It has to be registered to be an educational animal. We are ready to comply. We were ready to get to the paperwork. We are in the process of doing that. We needed a little bit of guidance from the DEC, and they came in and took them anyway. He says he plans to take legal actions over what he considered was an excessive use of force from the raid. This is absolutely deplorable in all senses of the words. You don't just walk into somebody's house and take their pets. I don't care what state law it is. I don't care what you guys think.
It starts with pets.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ready to do that with your children, man.
Yeah,
man.
You don't agree. You don't agree what they decide that their gender is that week. And they want to come in and say, you're not qualified to be a parent and we're taking your kids because it is the state. This is Orwellian. This is truly, how do you defeat America from within? And if we give these people 4 more years with a puppet president, we are screwed. We are screwed, man. This is like a monument. I hate when people are, this is the most important election ever. This is the most important election.
They said they had their guns drawn as they stormed the house.
He had to have 5 officers let him go to the bathroom. I mean, it's disgusting, dude.
Reinforce your doors, reinforce your walls, reinforce your glass.
2A, dude. 2A.
Reinforce your glass so well that if they try to shoot through it, they end up shooting themselves in the process, folks. Because when your government fails you, it is up to you to defend yourselves, those closest to you, and those you are responsible for.
You know, I changed from doing entertainment commentary to being a narcissistic abuse recovery coach. And a lot of the studying that I've done about toxic personality types and behaviors, it seems to correlate an awful lot with the way you see mobs on Twitter, on the news, how they scheme and plot, how they smear campaign. You know, I watch these political ads and I'm like, it's a smear campaign. They took a little bit of truth that this guy said or this person said, and they framed it around the narrative that they needed in order to put that person in a certain light. They also the types like that. That's why, like Scotty just said, to me, this is an election that is good versus evil, like real good versus evil. The people that are connected to the Kamala Harris campaign are people who traffic the P Diddy parties. They're the people who are probably on Epstein lists. These are the most powerful, elite, wealthy that traffic or that operate in circles that, at best, covered for one another within these things. Exactly, and that's one of the reasons why I want Trump in office, because if I am correct, then this man has been smear campaigned, harassed. He has been hunted by psychos and narcissists that operate in the top tiers, the draconian top 13 families, Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, and every single puppet in the political and social and economic and the mainstream media spheres. All of these people are connected, okay? A liar needs flying monkeys. That's one of the main reasons why I support Donald Trump and why I have been so steadfast about this, because I see the narcissism involved in how they attack him. Taking something like what just happened today, there's two points I want to make. One, absolutely, people like that who exist in trafficking people, don't care about your rights, want to destroy you, want to smear campaign others, they want to kill light. They want to kill love and light. So they would go after something like this, go after this family, this rescue, and do something like this just for the hell of it, just to stomp something out. And at the same time, as Drew was saying earlier about false flag campaigns and such, these types of personalities will create situations or create explosions of emotional reactivity in one direction. So you don't see what the right hand doesn't see what the left hand is doing. And it's a shame what has happened to this family, but I'd like to actually circle back to Drew on this, because, you know, his speciality is talking about the backdoor deals, the things that happen with the Illuminati and such.
Well, let me make one more point before.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. This is the reason why Donald Trump is absolutely needed right now. He is private sector. He didn't grow up in a politically ran, shadow hooded, governed and dictated family. The man has recovered from bankruptcy more times than most people can count in this day and age. And the reason why is on the wall, because they're making people incapable of thinking for themselves to see the writing on the wall. Okay. Trump is not for the black hoods running the penned in market that is our mining town market of the world economy. He's trying to expose them. He's trying to say, hey, get off my lawn. And if anybody is going to get this country out of bankruptcy, it's a guy who's experienced bankruptcy that many fucking times.
And also gave us one of the best economies we had during his presidency. Absolutely. Well said, Tony. Thank you so much. I know you got to cut out. Do you have to head out now, or can you wait a little longer?
I need to. I got cards with friends later, and I need to get ready.
All right, buddy. All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, no, it's no problem. I'm definitely gonna write a parody song for Peanut. I am gonna definitely write that one for.
Don't forget, Fred the Raccoon was also executed.
Yes.
By the New York state government.
Mm-hmm. Both of them.
Thank you. But Gap, if you would throw out a link to Tony's channel, guys, please subscribe to Stark of Iron. Wonderfully talented man, great panels. Please check him out.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Want me to grab that? I think I got a wrench here. I can fetch it right quick.
Yeah, you can wrench it. It's all good. But
know
yeah,
that,
so I'm just
know
real
that
quick.
the opposite.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, I'd just like to say before we continue, this picture, great example. Know that the opposition succeeded in executing 2 out of the 3 people in this picture. Well, squirrels and raccoons are technically not people.
Well said.
But if they vote the right way, we'll make them people. I mean, you guys are importing immigrants. I say let the animals fucking vote, because some of them are voting for you.
Well, as Parrot had made a mention earlier, which of course is still too soon, even for the gallows humor, is I guess that both of them are now qualified to vote Dem, because they're dead.
They Dems. Yeah. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you, brother. And
I love you guys. Thank you. There be rogues here. It was a pleasure to meet you, Sporking, you Heretic, and you Immortal Coil, and you Slender Dad. This is the first time that I've shared a panel with the 4 of you gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. I'm sorry that formalities weren't mentioned earlier. I am kind of a mess right now over all of this, if that isn't evident.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. So you guys take care. God bless.
God bless, man.
All right, man. God bless, brother.
And take care.
Going back, so swinging back to Supreme Heretic, I really want to get your thoughts on this. Do you think that the government would use something or do something like this in order to create a distraction while the election, on the eve of an election?
No, absolutely. You know, why do you think they're pushing so close to World War III? They want to get that to happen as soon as possible. They want, you know, they want for some violent uprising if the election is in question to happen, and then they will turn around and most certainly make sure that the perpetrator is a quote Trump supporter, because they want to continue to paint the greater voting public as domestic terrorists. Which,
well, I wanted to.
Well, I was going to say, Steve, hell, I'm still on a list. I guarantee you, I'm still on a list. Hello,
God damn, you are.
You know,
yeah, man, you're an insurrectionist.
I said spear chucker. I'm on a list somewhere.
Yeah, you know, God rest his soul. The only way Will got off the list was he died. You know, I mean, I'm still on it, and I know it, and they're still gonna come after me, and I'm extra problematic because hey, I talk about things openly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they try and use, I saw, or I was trying to find the picture, but they were trying, there's an article out there that says the killing of a squirrel has triggered the alt-right. They're already beginning to use that as a narrative. Like, Scotty, you've seen this for years and years now. You've been on top of this.
Yeah, I got shaved head. I'm automatically alt-right.
I mean, you know, so what do you think about like the progressive media picking up already on this is an alt-right trigger, the killing of these animals?
They can keep doing that because we are at a point now where people have finally woken up to this. And it's once again another reason why legacy media and cable media will no longer have the strength they had when they're only getting 100,000 views and Joe Rogan's getting like 200 million. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. They played this game in 16, 17, 18, where people were scared. Like, we were scared. Like, we're going to get demonetized. We're going to get this. They demonetized me for shit. Like, you know, it happens. But I think in the last couple of years, there's been enough big names just saying right to you, like, I don't care what you say. You're not canceling me. I'm not going to let you cancel me. And the apology doesn't have to happen anymore. Like, these people that we always said it, don't apologize. If you believe it, you double down. And A lot of people apologized and it ruined their careers. And I think a lot of people, normies, have woken up to watching CNN, watching to the point where share my screen. CNN is actually being honest right here. That's how bad it's getting. Listen to what this woman says.
Messages. A K-file investigation this hour finds Kamala Harris is targeting crucial battleground voters with vastly different messages on Gaza and Israel. This ad is running in Michigan, which has the largest Arab population in America.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
All right, well, it's a very different story for an ad in Pennsylvania targeting Jewish voters.
Let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself.
Wow.
And I will always
Bullshit.
Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7.
She has no ethics. She has no,
shame.
she has no,
What a
no
two-faced
shame.
fuck.
Dude, she will do whatever it takes to win. She will do whatever the deep state tells her to do. And if you don't believe there is a deep state, you're an idiot. The deep state just means these are people that are not elected that are really running the show. You think this woman knows what she's talking about, Kamala Harris? No, what she's doing is in one state where there's Muslims, she's placating to them. And then in another state where she's losing battle in Pennsylvania, she placates the Jewish vote. I am shocked CNN couldn't stand by. Like this woman, I don't know if it was her idea, but amen to actual journalism.
Cherry on the cake. She combines the two speeches together in an address for Israeli-Palestinian relations, because you could make that argument of what's happening in Gaza is bad, but Israel does have the right to exist. It's a very, very, tangled conflict that goes back a long way. Let's promote peace, because with peace we can have prosperity and stop killing each other's children.
Yes. And the only
can I talk to you for 2 seconds, Scott?
Yeah, man.
For 2 seconds. Listen, these people have been telling for about 3.5 years, they've been telling me that my voice is the trouble, that my race is the trouble, that my gender is the trouble. And then suddenly, ahead of statistics, the Democratic fucking math brain decides that, white voters are not following Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
What do they expect? You told me to go the other.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like what's her name when she told us not to go see her movie. What was that director
Amandla
actress?
Stenberg, because she said
no, the one that
doesn't matter. Ryan Johnson.
It doesn't matter.
All those
they all did it.
They're all the same fucking.
And then they're shocked when we don't go see it. Just like if you are any what of a male, black, white, Asian, I don't give a fuck what color you are. My daughter has a friend next door. They're sleeping over. Wrong night to do this. I don't care what color you are. If you're a man and have testosterone flowing through your body, if you vote for her, you are a beta like I have never met before.
Well,
like you really are, because there's no philosophy that she holds that you can tell me is important enough to you. You just want to get laid, most likely, like I did back in the 90s when I said I was a Democrat and a tree hugger. I know what I did.
I was going to make the point, though, they do polling based on certain demographics, and then they show it.
All right.
In regards to if only white men voted, what would the result be? If only white women voted, that would the result would be that. They did a very interesting contrast between Jewish Americans and white male Americans, and the results were almost the completely polar opposite. Among Jewish Americans, it was almost exclusively blue across the board. But with white male voters, it was almost exclusively red across the board. And of course, there are variations between, different demographic.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
Sort of thing.
I would like to see that a little bit more because I know quite a few Jewish people, and they are all voting Trump. I mean, Trump's son-in-law and his daughter converted to Judaism because she married. God, I just blanked on his name. The one that helped
Kushner.
Yeah, Kushner. I mean, the idea that
You know what I dislike about the whole thing, though? Before we get too far
you don't
off
like
of
Jewish
the topic,
people. We all know this.
No, I love Jewish people. I've trained with the Israeli military. I like those guys a lot, actually.
Too, huh?
Oh yeah. But the thing of it is there is a perfect middle ground to occupy, which is we do not want to spend our blood and treasure on this conflict, just like we shouldn't be spending our blood and treasure on the Ukraine conflict. But Israel is our ally. So we need to play the big kid on the playground who's like, listen, Israel and those guys, they got some shit to settle. Stay the fuck out of it, or we will step in.
Yep.
Because Israel is being attacked on all sides. And at this point, we should be there.
Yep.
Like
Dude,
when those other countries, when Iran starts getting involved, when these other countries start getting involved and wanting to play that game, we should be stepping in and slapping their dick so hard it falls off.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Like, we shouldn't be really supporting anybody.
U.S. citizens hostage. Like, we should be stacking bodies until we get our hostages returned safely. Like,
I'm with
we
you.
should build the
But we should
Tower
also
of
be telling
Babel
the
out of
Israelis
corpses
stop
of
shooting
their
rockets
dead.
where they are. You know what I mean? Like, we should also be telling the Israelis, kill it with the rockets till we get our people back, and then we're squashing this. And if we have to turn everybody over there to glass, we will.
The deaths shall continue until our people are returned to us unharmed.
Yeah, the Ukrainian, I mean, dude, all this is for the war machine. And I know this pretty well. I mean, the military industrial complex loves the left. There was a flip in the early to mid 2000s where all of a sudden after Bush, Obama became the former Republican type corporate and military contract, like just guy. I mean, he dropped more bombs than any other president. He's done so much. Well, I'm not more than any other president. I'm sorry. That was probably Nixon, but he did more
drone strikes.
He did more than Bush. He dropped more bombs than Bush in the 8 years, but yet he still also had the "you're not allowed to shoot back," type of campaign in Afghanistan. It was weird, but anyways, the idea that we're involved in any of these wars, I don't care if you're our ally or not, like Ukraine, we should never have. Kamala Harris is the one that said they should join NATO. That was the line in the sand for Russia. She is the one who started this war.
Dude, and Russia has redrawn that line 4 or 5 times.
Right.
I mean, we backed them into a corner. We are the aggressor in that conflict. I'm sorry.
We forced the English to go over there and take the peace talks out. We forced the English to go there because the English, they're great. I love you guys. I really do. I love the Beatles, favorite band. But when it comes to balls, we have them and you guys need us. So we tell you what to do. And we use you as a proxy, which is embarrassing to both of us, to make the Ukrainians take the peace treaty off the goddamn table with Russia. And now another 200,000 to 300,000 Ukrainian citizens, kids, a whole goddamn generation is gone. And what did we just find out recently? What did the neocons just admit to? That there is $11 trillion of rare earth metals under the Ukrainian soil. That is the only reason we are doing this.
Wonderful lead into.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to bring this up. I know it's from 2016, but I couldn't find any more recent thing, folks. But this was from polling, so take it with a pinch of salt. In regards to different demographics supporting different candidates, I don't think much has changed in 8 years. We're still banging on about the same problems, but I will say
I would say it changed. Leaning Democrat has now leaned Republican. The majority of people.
We'll just take the yellow then and apply it to the red. So see it with men and then see it with women. That's just a simple change between men
Women are gay.
and women. And you look at millennials, which is a bullshit term that I hate.
Yeah, Gen Zers though. They don't have Gen Z in
that's
there,
the,
do they?
Yeah, that's the turnaround. Then you've got older people, of course. Hopefully you're all still alive. 8 years, 73.
Yeah,
then you got with whites, white Americans, folks. Not people like me. And then you got non-whites, but that's changed a lot, especially
big time.
with the Latinos, especially. But it
and
does
the black vote.
Is there another one? Oh yeah, that was bullshit because she lost. But the point I was trying to make is, folks, is that different groups of people are inclined to support different ideologies. I know that's not really an American thing to say because, you know, we're all supposed to be American. Anyone can become American. It's, you know, the land and the ideas, that sort of thing.
No, and you're our foreign correspondent, so we fucking appreciate this. Go ahead.
Yes. It's just from my perspective, we have to realize that, especially in 2024, things have changed, some for the better, some for the worse, but I really do believe that it's those make and break states. That's why you're seeing all of this shenanigans going on, because all the opposition needs is very slim majorities. They got them in 2020, which is why places like fucking Georgia and Arizona turned blue for the first time in quite a while. But from my perspective, just keep an eye on it and don't let them get away with it a second time. Now, unfortunately, I have to go because I'm due to be on another show and then another show after that, and I'm supposed to relax. But it was great seeing you all. Stick around. I'm sure you will enjoy this. And my throat really wants to cough. So I'm not going to say F my throat because that'll be clipped like Walton's Pagan Man. But thank you all for being here. Stick around and enjoy the show. Bye for now. Sporking, you're a moron for sterilizing yourself.
Thank you, sir. God, I love that limey. What's his name?
Ryan Roger Athay. You have to say it right, Athay. You can't say Athay, or he gets upset. Athay.
It's not like Jarvis or something like that. He just
like you were just talking about, like the differences in the voting demographics right now, and there's a lot. I don't want to share them all, but there's a lot of African Americans out there that are voting for Trump. I mean, and very vocal about it, about how under his administration, their sector of America grew. People started businesses, and as they have seen, just like the rest of us, all of us have seen, your food bill's gone up, rent's gone up, gas has gone up, everything went up. Greed inflation went through the roof after the coup. And it's been difficult for any of us to stay above board. I mean, Slender, have you noticed that yourself?
Oh yeah, I mean, I ended up shifting jobs around the time that the office changed, and I got myself. I talked myself into about a $10,000 a year annual raise when I went into the new job. I'm coming up shorter than I did before.
Yep.
So,
wow.
I've made more money already this year than I have in any previous year, and I am still where I am in 2016. Like literally the government has taken half of my money. Like, it's disgusting. And he's talking about getting rid of the federal income tax, which is nice, using tariffs to replace it, which has worked in the past. I don't know how it would work now, but I don't know. It might help.
It's worth a shot.
Can I ask a question specifically to Heretic? As the official senator of Ohio, what is your opinion of JD Vance?
Can I just say I fucking love him? But go ahead.
JD Vance is awesome.
Well, I watched a fucking Joe Rogan podcast with Trump, and I watched a Joe Rogan podcast with JD Vance, and they seem like the only fucking honest motherfuckers on the plate.
Right? Watch JD Vance and Tim Dillon, dude.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Vance is
hilarious.
awesome.
What do you think?
You know,
Dude, his mom was a drug addict. You know,
he
lived with his grandmother. He went to the army to fucking save himself. He started. The guy is real.
Marines.
The guy is
he was
real.
a fucking Marine. Get it right.
Yes. Oh yes. I'm sorry. He was the Marine.
Go ahead, Drew.
Look, the Democrats brought you all the latest, greatest crises. All right, the homeless crisis, inflation, COVID-19, all of it was brought about by the Democrats. Look, shout out to my beautiful new soon bride to be, because she voted.
Congrats, man!
She's a black woman. Yeah, I got a new one. I just got engaged today, and she's way better than the last one.
Oh, that's for you,
buddy.
But no, she voted for Trump. Her mom's voted for Trump. I voted for Trump. And you know what the progressives think of me. They don't like, 5-foot Asian guys with extra girthy D's. They don't like that. They don't like that. So,
speaking out your mind, no. Same way they didn't talk to the Dark Council during the Phantom Menace. There, they wouldn't talk about Damajnai or Abu Nas or any of those guys because they went against the progressive narrative of black people speaking out. I mean, they don't like minorities speaking out. True.
They don't like people having a voice, because especially ones that conveniently ruin what they think is their controlled demographic. That's what it boils down to.
Right.
But going back to what we've been talking about JD Vance, and I just want to say that the all-star team that the transitional team that Trump surrounded himself with, I mean, you can't beat it. Elon, Tulsi, you got Vance as the running mate, you got RFK. I mean, it was literally political Avengers, because it's everybody from all different spectrums. You throw Vivek in there. I mean, you have bright people right off the jump to just set in different areas of the government, let them go to work, and get the efficiency back to 100%. And look, they've already said the words of doom. Trump said it, that he's thinking about actually, ending the Fed. Because I guess him and RFK must sat down, had a bourbon, had a
Doge.
heart-to-heart.
That's all I gotta say is Doge.
So they end the Fed. When you get somebody talking like that, the last person that talked about that ended up 6 feet under and shot by the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, he self-deleted, didn't he?
So look, we know that a whole shitstorm's coming, guys, and all this boils down to, we want to believe in our institutions and things like that, but I'm not so sure that our voting is going to get us out of this one. And I still always go back to, we need to be ready at a moment's notice to defend our homes, our property, our homes, our families, and our way of life. It may come down to that, and it may take American Revolution 2.0 to get that done. That's all I'm saying. I don't want it to come to violence, but we have to still be capable of that if you want to actually have freedom.
No,
I have to ask.
It's all about.
I mean, honestly, I have to ask, like, Sunder Dad, because he's someone out there who defended our country and served for us. Like, what do you think of that line of thinking? What are your thoughts?
On what line of thinking now?
Possible revolutionary talk.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really think we're there yet. I mean, teetering on the brink. My concern is this. Okay, I think there were definitely attempts at assassination of a president, or not a sitting president, but a potential president again. And I think everybody needs to just remember that after this election ends, don't let your guard down, because that's the best time to try again. I honestly worry that what's going to happen is Trump's going to get elected, and then they're going to make their move before he gets sworn in, which then I believe puts it to the House to decide who the next president is. So if that
Let's
does
say
happen,
this.
then who knows? Like all bets are off at that point.
Okay, let's say this. Let's put the same fucking energy into Trump actually winning. And then he has 4 years, and that's his final term. And he is able to do every fucking thing he wants to do. Now, you've seen his coalition. What do you think he's going to accomplish for the human race in the next 4 years?
I'm hoping that he accomplishes giving out information that we should have been getting, like, I don't know, an Epstein client list, maybe know who the actual people who have been trafficking, which is a big, that's one of the reasons why I support him so much, is because I want that information. Why do we the people not have the information of those who are in positions of power, who were involved with destroying an entire generation, possibly generations of children? That's what I want to see. I
want a Department of Government Efficiency. Like if they can get that thing going, I'm all for it. Like that's it.
Disclosure. That's what I want.
Yeah, all right, Scotty,
I want to know
private
who killed
chat, please.
Oh yeah, I want to know who killed Kennedy.
We all know already. Just because you haven't seen it written down doesn't mean you don't already know.
Right? But these things
I want to know if OJ's innocent or not. We all already know the answer to that fucking question.
The glove didn't fit, sir.
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah, he might have wrote a book about if I did it. That's the best one ever. I still love that. If I did it. But I got to bounce.
Okay.
Yep. I put my link to my page, my channel, my whatever, in the chat. 7:45 p.m. We are going live with Aluminum Spork. We are talking Trump and Harris, but we're talking disclosure. Which one would give us alien disclosure? We're talking about a couple other things alien like, and we'll probably get into the conspiracies that I feel like are going on with this election cycle. So join us at 7:45. Make sure you follow the channel because I keep losing. And
we're starting in a half hour.
Yeah, about a half hour.
Okay.
It might be a little
pretty
late.
fucking quick.
All right.
Yeah. But
All right, brother.
I'll see you boys later. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Peace.
So, thank guys. Please subscribe to Spork News Podcast. Last question before we go.
I've got one more thing with relation to the talk of the civil disturbance, so to speak.
Right ahead. Go right ahead.
I think they may have backed off on a lot of things that could lead to that when they saw how quickly the veterans and military members in North Carolina mobilized to unfuck all the shit that their relief was not doing.
Yeah.
I think they forgot just how fucking organized we military and former military can be when it comes to a crisis situation.
And since you're talking on that topic,
we have talked about
it on the last few shows. We did talk about that. What did you think about the local governments having to basically curtail FEMA from stopping people from helping others?
It doesn't surprise me at all. That's the kind of the Democrats are children. They're fucking children, and they are petty.
Literally.
And if you don't do what they want, they'll punish you. As soon as the opportunity to punish you arises, it doesn't matter if it'll kill you. It doesn't matter if your kids will die. It doesn't matter if you'll die. If they get an opportunity to punish you, they're going to punish you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Dead on, dude. One last thing. I wanted to go back. I want to ask everybody on the panel about this. So one of the things that we have learned, I even employ this as a narc slayer. One of the things that I've learned is that when people try to attack you for something, or create a narrative about you, you flip the script. Donald Trump has done this so many times in recent past. And I remember Vigilante Renegade sent out a tweet and said, if Trump starts talking about what happened to Peanut, he's going to pick up more voters. And he did. And he put out a memo talking about this. How many times, you guys, have we seen Trump flip a smear campaign into empowerment? Because I've seen it quite a few. What do you think, Slender?
I mean, the garbage truck thing was a great example just the other day, right? Like,
yeah, dude.
They call him the Teflon Don for a reason. You can't make this shit stick. You just can't.
And what do you, Supreme Heretic? What do you think? Is Trump pretty good at flipping the script on the smear campaigns that come after him?
He talked about it on the Rogan podcast. The weave, knowing how to break the narrative, and that's the thing. When people see genuine, when you put genuine in front of somebody's two eyes, and they can read your vibe, they know what's real and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had it. I'm still somehow, I've done it quite a few times. People thought like I was dead and buried, and somehow I still managed to scrape and get through. I mean, oh God, I've since I lost my apartment, I've been living out of a hotel, my car, wherever, and I'm still somehow scraping day by day and making it. By the grace of God, thankfully I got a hell of a partner, but that's the thing. When you have all these crises working against you, you flip it and you continue to rise above, and that's what I think people like Trump and a lot of people that we know personally are just, they're like that. It's in their DNA. They're survivors, and that's what you have to be.
Yeah, brother. We've seen it time and time again. Like, when we were fighting the industry or fighting Hollywood and things like that, we saw it time and time again. I think that Slender Dad said it perfectly. It's like the Democrats are children. They're emotionally deregulated. They're emotionally stunted. They attack without thinking. They create echo chambers and attack your character, your narrative. It's all narcissistic. And what I have seen Trump do is understand this and then come out of his ego and then really press forward in taking these things and using them as opportunities to grow, to show his authenticity. Because no matter what you think, I like how you said that, Supreme Heretic, no matter what you think of the guy, he's authentic. And that is what fake people hate. They hate authenticity, right, wrong, or indifferent, however you are. But if you're coming real, it will offend them every single time. And
because you can't stop authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Not when it's out there and people see that and people see truth. You can't stop true authenticity.
Yes, sir. So we have we're going to shut down now because I have another stream coming up on Spork News Podcast. I just want to give everyone a chance to promote their channels, and we're going to start off with one of the OG rogues on the panel. So glad to have you here today. Tell everybody where they can find you, Supreme Heretic.
Look, if you want to check out some good content when it comes to talking about what's going on in the world, what's happening, what's truly happening to the world, then you need to check out youtube.com/Supreme Heretic. I have streams that I do. Try to do them every Tuesday, but given my life circumstances, as I just mentioned, things are fluid, obviously. So sometimes they'll be pre-recorded, sometimes they'll be live. I always strive to do live because I like to have things genuine and in your face so you can see it in that moment. But if not, I will do pre-records and have them up. But check for my streams mainly every Tuesday around that 6:55 p.m. time frame. And if not, just check on Wednesdays or Thursdays for pre-recorded episodes of the United Resistance podcast. And outside of that, I just want to say shout out to all my OG audience that still support the channel. Thank you to all my former and current panelists that have been the backbone of the United Resistance, because without you guys and gals, I wouldn't be here. And finally, shout out to my lovely soon bride-to-be. I'm happy that we got engaged today. It's been an unforgettable day.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that with us. And congratulations to you and the lucky lady, brother. Good seeing you, Drew. Next up is Slender Dad. Tell them where they can find you, my OG Rogue brother.
All right. You can find me as one half of the Ascendant Art podcast on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, along with Little Chad. We talk about gaming, pop culture, movies, TV, all the usual kind of stuff there. Occasionally, I'm also a guest on the Sunday stream on Brahma's channel, The Bullpen. Brahma Bull is now monetized, and they do a political show, him and Lil Chad, on Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. And I would be remiss if I didn't plug it. They're also going to be live streaming the night of the election. I think along with Comics Division and all sorts of guests going to be on that, myself included, at some point that night. And that should be a lot of fun as well.
Awesome, brother, man. Hail the dicks, and congratulations to Brahma Bull. That's incredible. Good for him, man. That is awesome. Thank you guys, everybody, being here today. Appreciate you who have been going with me through the transition every Saturday, doing something a little different, bringing Rogue Entertainment to Live Down Dragonstorm channel. Greatly appreciate you guys. Please remember to support your independent content creators out there. You're going to find more truth in YouTubers and independents than you will in the mainstream media. And greatly appreciate that. Please support your independent comic creators and anyone that's doing something outside of the system, because we don't have an industry to support us. We only have each other, and we rise together. I am Lodonis, Raven Wolf Dragonstorm, Ysir and Sage. Hail to my fellow survivors and thrivers from narcissistic abuse. Please remember to wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other, yet suffer no fool.